During the presidency of Jonathan, we clocked 100 years from the Southern-Northern amalgamation. A country that wants to move forward should have sat down seriously in this 100 years. Had we problems? What are our shortcomings? Within this 100 years, we had a civil war. Have we learned any lessons? Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak with you, I've been on this channel several times, and I haven't had any government, not just Buhari's government, honestly address the Nigerian problem. We've been talking of corruption, corruption, corruption. It is because, you know, you campaign in poetry, but you govern in prose. I will give water, I will give light. That is poetic. But when you want to govern, you sit down and write out what you have to do for the people. And that is when you say the seriousness of governance. So we have a lot of shortcomings. And these shortcomings is now explained in the national insecurity. That a country like Nigeria, you know, when Jonathan was being sent off, they said, idle civilian, Major General coming in, 1 month he will do this. A lot of magic. We now see the magic. The whole North is under civil war, and it's affecting the rest of the country. And we have politicians gallivanting with, you know, executive jets, the president moving from one place to the other with executive presidential jets, and people are being kidnapped and killed. And we don't want to sit down. When people talk of restructuring, it appears it's some magic. The problem of this country, we have to sit down to find out our problems and discuss it. Things are not normal. People are dying in this country. Millions of people are dying in this country, and the president appears relaxed. That is the aspect of it that is very painful. Appears as if nothing is happening. For somebody who, for 16 years, begged God to give him the ability to govern, what is he thinking about his legacy? Because people loved him. People believed in his transparency. But can you now justify all those beliefs? If a government cannot pay a minimum wage, how does he offer new employment for those who have none? So it is so fundamental that you have to count one before you count two. You have people employed, you can't pay them what you have agreed with them to pay, and I mean the ones that are just leaving school have no hope. That is why the ordinary people in the village, in the towns, are responsible. You go to some families, you see 3, 4 graduates who have left school 3, 4 years previously. They're all with their parents, doing virtually nothing. You see people, graduates, joining their mothers who fry akara balls in many streets. And they find it difficult to go and beg, but they're now begging. So it is the responsibility of government to try to provide. But what they do with the resources, I mean, when you see a governor running on a highway with 15, 20 jeeps, and half of them are empty, so how do you assess that? What's the governor doing with 15 jeeps on the highway when he can't pay minimum wage? What's he doing with it? With your own people in your own environment. It looks scandalous to me under the condition that Nigeria is passing through. That is the first discipline you will expect governance to show, that things are difficult. You know, things are getting out of hand, that you are here working, you don't know what is happening to your relations in the village. They are now kidnapping all manners of persons. We must sit down, whether anybody likes it or not, to discuss the problem of Nigeria. And inherent in the problems of Nigeria are just what we are discussing. You cannot isolate any one of them. Security, food security, whatever it is, has to be discussed. Diversification, what can states do? Can you provide this? And we restructure our constitution to inherit all these new developments so that states can develop at their own pace. Look at Israel with agriculture. They have not a pint of oil, but they are a lot more comfortable than most of the countries in Europe, not to talk of developing countries. And look at the fertile land God has given us in the north. Everybody is looking at the oil money. Everybody is looking at the oil money. And it is going down, and yet we're not discussing it seriously. That oil money is going down. What do we do? You know, the situation will be worse when there is no enough money to share. You and I cannot move on the main road. When they see you dressed like this, they won't know what you're earning. They will think you're part of the sharing system. Look at what happened with what did they call it? NSAS. You know, they didn't know whom they were attacking. They could kill anybody on the highway because people have been agitated. And you become the collateral value of governance. Because they won't see government. They won't see them with the protection they have. It's you and I that they will see on the highway. And we become the collateral damage to their protest. So I repeat, we must sit down to discuss the Nigerian problem and the way forward. You know, About 3-4 months ago, I was here, and I discussed about after the Southwest formed the Amotekun or something, there was a Southeast Security Conference, which really never held, as it were, because they invited 100 and something traditional rulers from the 5 states and kept them for almost 4 hours. The GOC was sitting down. The president of Ohanese then was sitting down. The Catholic and Anglican bishops were sitting down, and they stayed for almost 4 hours. The governors were in government house with the IG of police, and people left. As at now, we don't have any security system in the Southeast. Nothing is going on. The chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, who organized it, today he has jumped ship. He's now in APC, embarrassing everybody else in his state. All those who made him governor, who helped him to achieve, hard-working person, I must say. But I think, again, that's the problem of this Cyrene, a very humble person before he became governor. He don't know what is wrong.
When you say embarrassing, what do you mean?
Don't you see the press conferences he's been holding? He jumped into a party, and all the leaders of the state condemned it, and since then it's been warfare. Calling names on people like Pius Anyim, Sam Egwu, Senator Ogba, all the distinguished sons of our land in that place. An intelligent person, and I know he's very intelligent. That is where silence is golden. He would have been silent, quietly discuss his problems with his people, and he's not doing that. A public fight. Chairman of Southeast Governors Forum. So if organization collapses at that level, what is the hope of our people? You know what we're passing through? Buhari is struggling to organize the North with some governors. So also Wike and governors in the South. Who is organizing the Southeast? Our leader, chairman of Southeast Governors Forum, suddenly decamped to another party. For what purpose? You have the right to do anything you want, but not under the condition this country is passing through. Not under the condition. You should be looking at the fate of your people. If there are further crises in Nigeria, they are the people we are looking forward to. Is jumping ship the solution to our problem? Is that the solution to the Igbo problem?
But the fact that he moved to another party doesn't negate the fact that doesn't negate his position. The fact that he's still the chairman governors forum of the Southeast.
What is he teaching the common people? What is he teaching people?
You know, recently he expressed concerns about the rising spate of insecurity in the Southeast.
Yes.
And he talked about the fact that some politicians are responsible for stoking the embers of violence within the Southeast. How do you respond to his concerns? And what are your findings about the reasons and factors responsible for insecurity in the Southeast?
Salamatu, he has information you and I don't have. That's why he's the chief security officer of his state. And I was watching him in one of his programs, naming names. What has he done about it? He's in a position, if he was sincere, and he had facts, to go up to the president and say that these are the people with this evidential proof causing problems in the Southeast, and they should be arrested. But it's not proved on television. If he is sincere, and he's an honest man, and he's calling the names of distinguished sons of Igbo land, that they are involved in one violence or the other, if you give the proof to the president and he doesn't take action, then it's a pity. So that shows that he's not being honest to himself. I believe in restructuring Nigeria. We have to put into account the interests of everybody else. Come to Benue State, the Idomas have not had the opportunity to be governors. In Kaduna State, the Southern Zaria have not had the opportunity to present a governor, unless when there was this problem of the former vice president leaving his office and somebody moving in. We have to sit down to look at how the various component parts, because these are part of the problems we are now seeing. Look at the killings in Southern Zaria. If they know that someday they will have governor and it will be their turn, they'll not be protesting. So coming back to what you asked about presidency, we have very brilliant sons and daughters that will do well if they are not surreptitiously being pushed out. Like the governor, we know where he's coming from. That's why he's leaving his party to jump into another party, because some people want to use it. So if people like, no, just a second. Okay. If people like Peter Obi will emerge, if people like Pius Anyim will emerge, Sam Egwu, Chris Ngige, Ken Unaman, we have distinguished men and women that will be on their own. These people I mentioned are people who can stand on their own.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.